Hello RK. In this screencast I will give you feedback to your last week's summary. So let's start. This is my great advice to you, okay? That's the title of the video. Jeff Bezos, good, argues that, very good. Now let's see what he argues. There are the greatest variety of ways to achieve business. Okay, sure. But what does that mean, there are the greatest variety of ways to achieve? I think you can just follow on the advice that he gives on the tips. Jeff Bezos argues that if young entrepreneurs or future business owners follow the advice he gives, they will achieve business success. Something like that. So something about rephrase and include the main idea is those tips, right? That's what the video is about. He gives advice or tips or recommendations, however you want to put it. So just to rephrase this slightly to include that. But overall, very good first sentence. You've included everything, and most importantly, you made it argumentative, which is exactly what you need to do. Okay, good. He begins, very nice, with the importance of time management and finding whose passion. Here, he's talking to the whole audience, right? Finding your passion, or who is this his passion in building a successful business? Very nice sentence, by the way. I would just, here, the pronoun needs to be fixed. So since he addresses all future potential business owners, people, the audience is really people interested in setting up a business, entrepreneurs, you could just say he begins with the importance of time management and the need for future entrepreneurs to find their passion, right? Something like that. And the need or the importance for who? For future or for business owners, however you want to say it. Whoever the stakeholders are. In this case, we're talking about entrepreneurs, business owners, managers, if you will, future business owners, however you want to say it. And the need for future business owners to find, and then you can continue, right? Okay, in building a successful business. Okay, very nice. Find their passion correctly in building a successful, sure. Jeff Bezos then suggests that, very nice use of verbs here. He begins with, he suggests, the speaker states, the speaker shares. This is all very good. States again here. Okay. And you done very well to name the speaker Jeff Bezos all the time. Very nice. So structurally, your paragraph is really good from start to finish. First sentence is argumentative, just a little bit broad, but overall it is argumentative. The conclusion is okay. We'll talk about that later. And then there's a lot of structure throughout, reporting verbs, cohesive devices. So you're going to score very highly on all these things. Very nice. Jeff Bezos then suggests that being resourceful is also an important factor, because now here you don't need this, because he explains the experience from his childhood. You don't need this because remember how we said we stay away from examples? This would be very good for your evidence paragraph. He gives these examples from his childhood to prove his supporting ideas. But for this paragraph, we stay away from examples, remember? So you don't even need to mention that. Just say what the idea is. All of that, he was brought up with his all of that is just a story which he uses as evidence to support his ideas. But we don't do that here. We do not include that. We don't include evidence and examples in the summary, right? This is all very good material for the evidence paragraph. I would just stay here. Bezos then suggests that being resourceful is an important factor because, and then say why. Because it can get you out of a difficult situation, for instance. He was talking about for every problem there is a solution, but you need to be resourceful to find that solution. And that's it. We stay with the supporting idea. We don't include the example. Moreover, the speaker states, it is one way of creating a successful business is having a dream. Sure, but this is not very grammatical. It is. See? Just say states that one way of creating a successful business is having a dream, and then it becomes an excellent sentence. So here you don't need this. It is just not grammatical. Instead of that, this whole construction is a repetition of a verbs, of the same verb. It is, right? So instead of that, you can rephrase it by, there's several options. The simplest way is just to delete this. The speaker states that one way of creating a successful business is having a dream. And I think that's the simplest way to do it. Just delete this one. You don't need it. In addition, he recommends always choosing to do hard things. Okay, that's a little bit general. Things, what are these things? And he asserts, very nice use of a reporting verb, that you always have to be proud of your hard work. Sure. He is saying that you should work hard. You shouldn't just rest on your old laurels. You shouldn't just be proud of your gifts, but you should work hard on improving yourself even more. So that's all good. But just hard things, I mean, that's just, it's too general. You know, the word choice is not very good here. What are these hard things? So he recommends always doing hard work, always doing hard work or something like that, right? Just hard things is just very general. You see what I mean? He recommends not shying away from hard work. He recommends not being satisfied with your gifts, but working hard to improve yourself, right? Okay, that would be something along these lines, so that you avoid these very general hard things. In academic English, we try to be very precise. We don't talk about things or people. We usually, if instead of people, we say, depending obviously on what you're writing about. In the context of business, it will be business owners, competitors, customers. Those are our people, the stakeholders, like you've said here very well. Instead of things, it's business projects. You know, this is very specific word choice. Okay. And he asserts that you always have to be proud of your hard work. Fine. Don't be proud of your gifts. Be proud of how hard you've worked to improve what you already have. Right? Something like that. And here hard work is much more specific than hard things. So that's a good word choice. The speaker shares either with the audience, shares with whom? You can just say shares his own experience. So this preposition is not necessary. So you can just delete it. If you want to use a preposition, then you'll have to say he shares it with whom? The speaker shares his experience with future entrepreneurs, blah, blah. But in this case, I think it's simpler to just delete it. The speaker shares his own experience. That everything has to start with small things. For instance, Amazon. Okay, so this is an example. Remember, we don't really use examples. Again, we stay away from examples, right? So here, can just say the speaker shares another recommendation the speaker gives is that another recommendation the speaker or another important point the speaker recommends for future entrepreneurs is to start on a small scale. That's it. Because he's talking about first when you start a new business, just start small and then let the company expand naturally over time. Don't start big. Start with small, something small, right? Because a small business is more manageable, then you can expand it over time. So you can say something like that, right? Again, small things, just like hard things, is just too general, right? So again, you want to make the word choice a bit more precise. Jeff Bezos recommends to business entrepreneurs, to future business owners who want to launch a company to start on a small scale. That's it. And then no need for an example. Also, okay, but here something is missing. Another recommendation he gives, or he also stresses, Jeff Bezos also stresses the importance of satisfying customer needs, right? Which is one influential factor that can improve productivity. Okay, so all of that. Here, delight is just an imperative. It's a verb used in the imperative, right? So here, in this summary, we would not do that. He says delight the customers, but we need to paraphrase that as another point, another recommendations he gives is blah blah, right? I would just say here, additionally, Bezos stresses the importance of satisfying customer needs. Delight the customer, satisfying the customer. If you put it that way, it will also avoid repetition. Satisfying customer needs, which can improve productivity. And that's it. So you've avoided repetition and you've also rephrased this. Because the verb in the imperative form is, you would hear that spoken in a lecture. You know, when a lecturer directly addresses you and say, you need to delight your customer. But in a summary, we don't use imperatives, right? So this imperative form needs to be avoided. And also, there's a bit of repetition, which you can avoid. So I think the way to do that would just to say, Jeff Bezos also stresses the importance of satisfying customer needs, which can improve productivity. And that's it. Jeff Bezos concludes by having a big vision. Okay, who has the big vision? Does he conclude by having a vision and then it's we all of a sudden? See, again, you need to tidy this up a little bit. In conclusion, Jeff Bezos states that having a big vision, comma, we can achieve more success in our business projects. That's it. Business areas is a little bit too broad. Maybe business projects, business ventures, you know, a bit too broad, the word choice. Overall, very good, very structured summary. Yerke, you have no problems. Clearly, you have a very solid foundation. I would just say stay away from examples and use more precise wording. You know, always think of terminology that you can use. Business projects, start on a small scale, hard work, right? Something like that. But overall, this is a very good summary. So from now on, I will be giving you feedback to the evidence paragraph starting next week. But you are doing very well with the summary. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, good work.